like Derek Jeter came and he started seeing what was the problem with the Marlins.
Yeah.
And like our farm system it sucked, like compared like the other years, and the stupid owner before, like he offered it's like Stan earned that money, but it was just like, come on, we need pitching, so I felt like it was time for Stanton to go somewhere, to a winning, franchise and just, start over. But yeah, that's what's up. I ain't no Yankees fan.
You can't. Yeah, I mean, it's a team sport. You know what I'm saying? So it's you can't have just one star player and the rest of your team is trash. Sometimes you got to give them up to get better. That's in life in general. You got to sometimes take a step back to take a few steps forward.
Yeah, because my wife, she's a Yankees fan. She's from Manhattan.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay.
And I don't like the Yankees. I don't like the only New York team I really like for real is the Giants because they beat the Patriots twice. I'm a Dolphin fan.
Which team?
The Giants, because they beat the Patriots twice.
Giants, okay.
Yeah, because I'm a Dolphin fan, so we kind of gotta adopt them as one of our teams,
But it's funny, I'm actually a Tampa Bay Bucks fan in football.
Oh, really? For real?
Yeah.
Wow, that's what's up.
Yeah. Random, but yeah.
Why not like a Jets or a Giants fan?
I don't know. I didn't grow up my dad wasn't super into football, so I didn't have any loyalty with growing up really. Mm-hmm. I think I was a Cowboys fan for a little bit just because one of my dudes was a big Cowboys fan. But when I started getting into it when I was a little bit younger, red was my favorite color, and I remember this was when the Bucks changed their jerseys to red, and that was what got me to be a Bucks fan. That was the age where I was all right, I got to pick a team kind of because everybody else likes football, and probably the Madden era as well. Yeah. So then I was all right, well, I like red. I was super young, and then kind of stuck with it, and I became a big fan of it.
Yeah, and the 2002 team was crazy.
Yeah, man. Yep, that was when they won the Super Bowl. That defense is legendary, man. Yeah. They actually won the Super Bowl on my birthday. I remember. Which was amazing.
So what you Aquarius?
Yep.
That's what's up, man. Because a lot of people don't know. Back in them days, the Super Bowl was actually played, I think, in late January, early February.
Yeah, my birthday's January 25th. Yes, they used to play it in late January.
Yeah, man, that was the good old days, man.
Yep.
Good old times, man. But
yeah, man.
The reason why I asked about jerseys because I had a few artists from Jersey, and being so close to New York and being outshadowed, from NY, and I just like to ask the artists how is it in Jersey, and they was basically telling me, it's not really what people think it is. Once someone blow up, they kind of either hate or try to bring that person back in that group of people that's I guess quote unquote miserable, and but I remember when Jersey had Redman and Queen Latifah and all of them, and they was all unified. So I don't know if it's a generational thing or is it in certain parts of Jersey? That's why I want to know from your perspective.
It's tough, man. I don't feel like we have a scene. It's weird. Jersey's very separated for as small of a state as it is, Mm-hmm. So where I'm at in Jersey City, we got a really cool kind of art scene happening. That it's a lot of artists out here of all kinds. From graffiti artists to painters to rappers to DJs to whatever. And there's definitely a cool kind of scene. I know a lot of the DJs are really close, and I have my crew. I'm really close with as far as local DJs and that kind of stuff. But I think it's probably highly competitive. It might be why you don't see a lot of unity because there are very few clubs like that, real clubs, to play and that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people always felt like they kind of had to push other people down in order to keep themselves up. You know what I mean? That's never really been my mentality, but I've definitely seen it around. You kind of just got to make do with it. We don't really have. I wouldn't say we have a crazy unified scene, but I mean, you got people that mess with each other. You just have kind of I think different pockets, different groups, And outside of that, it's not a huge, melting thing. But it's not in in Atlanta kind of thing where you have a whole scene of people who kind of know each other and that kind of thing. It's definitely pockets of that kind of stuff. It's all kind of broken off a lot smaller, I think.
Right, because the reason I'm gonna break it down to you because Miami's kind of like that way, and it's kind of like that in that way. But people somehow, it's like, just like you said, it's more like you got to be in the crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was to blow up tomorrow, you know, I would try to bring up everybody, but then I honestly would bring up the people that was close to me first. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like a mentality where, like, versus like Atlanta. Atlanta is like, you can have beef with somebody, but it's like at the end of the day, we all going to that. They all going for that same goal, and that's and that's try to be successful and stuff like that, you know. And I remember back in the days, like, I know New York got it now, but I remember when I was younger, New York had like a lot of like it was unity, like with the DMXs and the Busta Rhymes and everybody. Some people say 50 Cent ruined it. I feel like it was because of the South was kind of like coming up in that time and stuff like that. But I mean, you know, it is what it is, though. You know, but
I think, New York, I think back then had more of like, this is before my time, but from what I can gather, you had certain nights that were like everybody would come out, and I want to say it was something like Sunday nights you would have the tunnel, like Flex would DJ, and everybody who was like a part of that scene would be out there. You know what I mean? Like, and there was like a place to be. Atlanta probably, I feel like does have something like that. You know, I'm not tied into it like that, but from what I hear about how a lot of records are broken in the strip club and stuff like that, it's like there's like that meeting place, you know what I'm saying, where everybody goes to on a certain night, and that's where you go. Jersey doesn't really have that kind of thing. You know, you have like little parties here and there, but it's not unified kind of like that, you know. And I think it's probably not like that in a lot of places where you have one scene like that. Yeah,
because I'm like you, like, you know, you being from New York and me from being Miami. Like, Miami had that back in the day. Like, they had a spot where, you know, like Uncle Luke and everybody had like the jams and stuff, and you know, that's when it was unified. But now, like, you know, we kind of like the same way. We don't really have that spot where artists and DJs and creatives can just come together and just create like stuff. And like, for me, I'm low key trying to do that, you know, for Miami, because you know, it's sad to say, but I feel like we don't have no direction for Miami since the Leak and Trick Daddy days. Like, now it's like we either try to sound like Atlanta, we either try to sound like the West Coast, New York, Houston. Like, I'm like, we need to have our own sound, you know. But that goes back to like being unified, you know. So
yeah, it's tough, man. I think the internet kind of it hurts that a little bit, you know, because people kind of go off and do their own thing, you know. But yeah, it just takes somebody building it as well. I don't think it can't be done, you know. It just takes somebody really being like, all right, this is what we're doing now, kind of thing, you know.
Right. And I see that you also have a single coming out in a couple of days called "Get It."
Yeah. That comes out on March 1st, so Friday, March 1st. That comes out. Yeah, that's with it's a collab I did with TT the artist. She's an MC from Baltimore. She's known as like the Baltimore club queen. So that's tight. I'm really excited about that one. Her, I was actually a fan of for years before I really started producing. She had tracks with like Diplo and people like that. So I was always a fan, and yeah, I hit her up, sent her an email with like an instrumental, and she really liked it, and she sent back some vocals. And now, man, we have a track coming out. We're self-releasing on Friday.
So this is like your first like single, like. So you plan on working on the album as well, or EP?
I'm working on an EP right now. Actually, I kind of just started like I had been making a couple tracks. I'm like, you know, I would like this to be like an actual EP, you know, kind of project, have a theme behind it. But yeah, my goal this year is to really be putting out a release every single month. So whether it's just a single, whether it's me doing like a remix, or whether it's an EP, you know, I want to be putting out something consistently and just kind of feeding, you know, the world every single month. You know, because I had been dabbling in producing for a couple of years now, but I never really like sat down what I would consider to take it seriously. You know, I never had the confidence in my production, and I feel like I never really found the sound that like lent itself to my talents, you know, until recently. So now that I feel like I'm there, you know, if I don't put stuff out, I have myself to blame at this point. So I just kind of really taking it seriously this year.
That's what's up, man. I'm looking forward to the single and like all the projects that you got going on.
Appreciate it, man.
Whenever you got something to promote, like just send it my way and I'll promote it. You know, it's all love, man.
I appreciate that for real, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And I got two more questions for you before I let you go. As a DJ,
yep.
I know we had so many DJs before our time, and like,
yep.
You know, while we was growing up and stuff, like in middle school and high school, we talked about like Envy. I talked about like Khaled and Drama and like Clue and everything. And one of my favorite questions of my show is like the top 5. It could be anything, you know. And like for you being a DJ, I want to know who's like your top 5 DJs of all time.
Man, that's tough. I don't want to get killed on that. I'm gonna give you a top 5 that's influenced me. I'll give you that.
Okay, that's fine.
I feel comfortable in that. So probably first DJ I ever saw was like Jazzy Jeff, you know, as a kid, you know, and you don't realize till you get older until you actually start DJing how great Jazzy Jeff actually is as a DJ, how nice he is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, definitely probably the person that started to open my eyes like to what DJing was him. I have to say Clue for sure, like guys like Clue, Flex. I saw what they were able to do building a brand and not just DJing, but you know, having actual records in stores, you know, and Clue with Rough Riders, and Flex had his own stuff in stores, and Flex had like back in the day the stuff with Lugs, the Boots, and Dubs Magazine, all this different stuff, right? That he was involved in, and radio. So definitely those two. So that's 3. I would say just as far as like, man, I'm probably gonna give you 6. I would say DJ AM for sure would have to be there because the dude just got busy. I mean, you talking about somebody who could DJ any genre of music and walk into a room, you know. Yeah,
then he passed away, right? Like
AM. Unfortunately, he passed away. But I mean, I was listening to some of his old mixes like over the weekend on a drive, and I was like, damn, like he did everything. Every kind of genre of music you think of, the dude was mixing it seamlessly, and he didn't care, you know. Yeah. So I like AM a lot. I'd say Diplo, not necessarily like that he's like, you know, gonna sit there and put on turntables and show, but his ability to rock a party and any kind of party is something that I can appreciate for sure. And I'm 6. I'm gonna give myself a 6 just because I would say today, like right now where I stand, like Envy is a huge influence for me, just because being around him, seeing his work ethic and all these different kinds of things, like it really just shows me what I should be striving to do and you know, and where I want to kind of get myself to. So I'm going to give you those 6 that influence me personally.
That's what's up, man. That's a tough top 6 because if you look at it, all them DJs, you know, they pretty much gave us a blueprint of like, you don't have to just be a DJ forever. You could just break out and get into media, you know, create a business.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is, man. It's diversifying. It's like rich people do the same thing with their money. You know what I mean? They don't just invest in one thing and that's it. Right. Rich people diversify their portfolio, whatever the hell it is. Exactly. You know, you invest in a bunch of different things, and it should be the same way. You can't just get bogged down in one thing because you could be hot right now as a DJ, but when the next dude comes around, you're not getting as many bookings, not getting paid as much. Like you banked all your money and your plans and your future on that one thing. You know. Yeah. So it's all about diversifying and figuring out a way to kind of do it. You know, it's great. It's the platform that being a DJ gives you and doing different things and building off of that and just creating opportunities for yourself.
Exactly. And the one last question that I wanted to ask, I asked everybody else is, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now?
Man, 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years. Wow. I would say in 5 years, man, I want to be just, traveling around, DJing around the world, and definitely have my hands in multiple businesses and real estate and things like that. My goal for the end of this year is to buy my first house, my first investment property and house. So I want to be able to do a bunch of different things like that. And in 5 years, hopefully, just be putting out music, working with different people, and flying out DJing, and radio definitely still being a huge part of my life. I would love to kind of, sort of have radio during the week as my day job, and then be flying out, to DJ a couple gigs on the weekends or whatever it is. If I can achieve that, I'd be super happy. Man, in 10 years, I don't know. I hope to be doing similar stuff to that, but also just passing it along. I hope in 10 years I can look back and look back on my career, my life, and know that I also helped other people who I saw had a similar hustle and drive that I did, you know.